Let's talk about the new volumizing mousse from the Forte series. But first off, welcome back to the channel. My name's Mike. If you're new here, I go by the name of Modern Man TV. Welcome once again. Thanks so much for joining me here today. We're looking again at this new drop from the Forte series, and I have been using this for a little while now. I've got it recently. I have been putting it through the paces, and as usual, I've got all the details for you in today's episode. According to the brand, the all-new volumizing mousse from the Forte series is a lightweight, non-sticky mousse designed to give your hair massive volume and that flexible, natural finish without crunch, stiffness, and with just a touch of control. They say this can be used solo or as a pre-styler with your favorite Forte or non-Forte product, and they've loaded it up with things like Pro Vitamin B5, biotin, and saw palmetto extract. So they're definitely leaning into that style meets care thing that they've really been pushing lately, something I'm actually a big fan of. Officially speaking, they list this as a light hold, matte finish, and a medium texture formula, and price-wise, we're looking at $23.95 for 3.4 ounces. For the scent now on this one, they did run with the traditional Forte scent. If you've used this brand even once, you probably have smelled or anything from this line. You've smelled their signature fragrance. I mean, it's the same scent that they use across the board, and in this case, within the mousse itself, it's nicely scented. It's not too heavy. You can't actually smell it in the hair unless you use a ton of it that way, but I think using it as directed, you don't really smell it when it's in the hair. Not that it's a bad fragrance. I actually do really like the fragrance, but it's kind of on the lighter end, I think, when it comes to the scenting level. Next, though, let's look at the product itself. This is a little bit different from the mousse you're probably thinking of. I think when we hear, mousse or styling mousse, we're thinking of something like this, a thick whipped lather type product, but this is a little bit different than that. It's a foam. You can see it's essentially just a foam. It has the same consistency of like a foaming soap, or maybe you've tried the foam from my Dauntless lineup. It's just like that actually as well. When you get it into the hand, it doesn't feel greasy or slimy. It also doesn't feel super sticky either, which kind of threw me off a little at first. It kind of threw me off. I was expecting to have some of that tack or strength in there, but it doesn't really have that. We will talk more about that in the demo, but it feels very light in the hand at first, so do keep that in mind. Speaking of that demo too, let's go straight into that. I'm going to run a traditional pre-styling scenario here. I'm going to do fresh, damp hair that I'll later blow dry fully dry. I'm going to use about 2 pumps of the styling mousse here. That's what I found works best for my hair length and density. And when you first add it in there, there's not much there. It's not sticky or tacky like I just mentioned. It's just very lightweight and slick when it runs through the hair. So use that to your advantage. Get it worked in nice and evenly. When I do hit it with the blow dryer though, things do begin to shift a little bit, and that's what I wanted to see personally. My hair is on the shorter side here, so it doesn't take long to dry, so I'm looking for this to react very quickly, and I think it does that. The heat kind of activates it a little bit and then gives you kind of an insight into what this offers. I think it gives you kind of a broader view. You kind of got some hold popping out, some structure beginning to form, and you can see that volume coming in and taking shape as well. But the biggest thing that I see, and something that was a bit of a surprise to me actually, is the added density. I think this is actually creating like a visible thickening effect. I can actually feel in my hair a little bit. I can feel it, if it's feeling a little bit thicker. Real quick too, I want to show you how this works with another Forte product, because that's how I typically use things like this as a pre-styler and a post-styler. So I do want to show you how that works. I'm going to use it today with a little bit of chrome clay, just because I really enjoyed that release. You can see when I do that, it acts kind of like an enhancer for this, which is why I like it as well. It acts kind of like an extension of the pre-styler, which is how really I like stuff to work. I don't want it to cover up or remove the stuff that I liked. I want it to just kind of work alongside it, which is what I think we have here in our final look with the chrome clay. Now though, time for final thoughts on this, and because it's a pre-styling, pre-style mousse, I'm gonna just skip the usual endurance and washout sections. Endurance in this case kind of just seems pointless to me based on what it is, and washout also seems kind of pointless. I mean, it's so lightweight that it just comes out completely with water, so I can say that, but I didn't want to waste too much time on it, honestly. Performance-wise, though, which is really where I think the conversation is heading with this, how does it perform? Is this like the mousse you've likely known before this coming out? Is it like one of those? Yes and no. I mean, I haven't tried a ton of mousse products. I've probably tried the same ones you have, from Walmart or Target or one of those mass-produced ones. And the difference is there that I see is obviously this is not as thick of a lather. and it's not as sticky as some of those. But really, I think there's other aspects to consider there. I mean, I think people really love how mousse can make your hair have that definition and the hold, and I think this does do that. When it comes to hold, I did find myself wishing it had a little bit more of it, you know, just a tad more. But I went back and looked again, and they did design it to be a light holding product. So on one hand, I do wish it had a little bit more hold, but on the other hand, you know, it does what it says it does. It was designed to be a light hold. It provides that. I do really like the structure it provides though, and I also really like that thickening feeling that it gives. And it's really a relief, you know, in the grand scheme of things, that they didn't just go the easy route with this and make it something like a traditional sea salt texture product or something like that. Or I kind of call them squint and tilt products, where it provides this and you have to like look in the mirror and squint and tilt, like, is it actually providing me that texture? I'm glad to see they didn't do that, a placebo or something that you have to really dig for. There's really good definable results that this has, and I think that was really good. Bottom line though, fine hair, short hair, thin hair, straight hair, you know, that general category, I think you're gonna love this mousse. If you have thicker hair that's shorter still, I'm not sure if you're going to really like this one. Quite honestly, I'm not sure if this is going to be for you. I'm just not sure there's enough there for you guys to benefit. You guys with longer hair though, if you are growing it out or something like that and you want something more free flowing, you're going to absolutely love this as well. So I think folks on kind of either end of the hairstyle length spectrum, you know, the guys that have thin hair, fine hair, short hair, and the guys that have long hair, this is going to be incredible for you guys. The folks in the middle, it's a maybe. I'm on the fence about you guys kind of in that middle category. There might be some better things out there, or you might actually like this. I don't know. It can go either way. For what I'm doing now though, with my hair, I do think I'm going to keep using this one, or at least I'm going to add it to my rotation. You guys know that I use a ton of stuff. You know, I'm constantly testing and using my own stuff and stuff that's sent to me. I am going to add this to my rotation though, and because I think it worked really well for what I'm trying to accomplish with my style right now. If you guys would like to add it to your rotations as well, you can grab this at the Forte series shop. I will drop the link in the description along with a coupon code you can use to save yourself a little money on your next order. I do not get a cut of that code. That's just for you guys to save a little money. That though is it for today. Another awesome release from the Forte series. Thanks so much for watching and checking this out with me. Take it easy. I'll see you next time.